What's up everybody, Mark with Coffee&Toys here. It is Friday, and normally on Fridays, if you're familiar with the channel, I do reviews of the latest G.I. Joe comics that are from Image Comics / Skybound Entertainment. However, there are no new comics this week, but there is important G.I. Joe comic related news, and of course I am talking about the latest Kickstarter from Skybound Entertainment, the complete G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero Compendium that is live on Kickstarter right now. Let's talk about it. But of course, before we get into that, let's talk about the coffee you are drinking. The coffee you're drinking right now, unless it comes from coffeebrandcoffee.com, it's probably not the best. It's probably not supporting a local American business. Do yourself a favor, go over to Coffee Brand Coffee right now. Support a great American business, help support this channel. They are no frills, no fancy gimmicks, just great coffee at a great affordable price. If you want K-Cups, they have them. If you want hot cocoa, they have it. If you want cool gear, they have it. If you want coffee delivered to your doorstep every month as part of the subscription-based service, they have that as well. And you can get your first month subscription for 50% off and use the promo code Coffee&Toys, COFFEENTOYS, and you will save yourself an additional 5% on your first order or your second order or any order you place. Make sure to hit up the description down below. All right, with that, however, out of the way, we are going to talk about the latest Kickstarter from Skybound Entertainment. And yes, that's right, they are doing a complete compendium of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issues 1 through 155 and more. So let's jump in and talk about it. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into what's going on over on Kickstarter. So, like I mentioned, Skybound Entertainment announced a couple weeks ago that they have decided to run a Kickstarter. And if you're not familiar with Kickstarter, I think everybody's familiar with Kickstarter, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. They were going to release the entire run, the entire Marvel run of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero in a compendium set of 4 books, if I'm remembering correctly, and that it is scheduled to come out sometime late 2024. I think right now they're shooting for October 2024. And yeah, this is your chance to own the complete series, the complete Marvel run of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Included in that also is G.I. Joe Special Missions, G.I. Joe versus the Transformers, or is it G.I. Joe and the Transformers? I don't remember. And there's one other one in there. There's Special Missions, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, G.I. Joe Transformers. The G.I. Joe Special #1 that came out in 1995 is also included. That's the one with the famous cover where Todd McFarlane draws Snake Eyes, looks like Spider-Man, based on that. And yeah, so anyway, all this to say we're going to talk about today because I think it's a great Kickstarter and it fits the channel well for me to talk about it because I'm currently reviewing all these comics, and to actually have all of them in hand, for me personally, it'd be great to actually have them all in a complete set compendium, and it's 4 books, so it's going to be, let's just talk about it. It started, I believe, on Tuesday? I can't remember, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Point is, it started very early in the morning for me. I woke up around 7:15 a.m. Mountain Time, and it had already funded. The initial funding they needed for this project was $50,000. They hit that goal in 6 minutes. So, with them hitting that goal in 6 minutes, it officially became the #1 fastest funded comic in Kickstarter history. So, kudos to the G.I. Joe community. Kudos to you if you've already supported the Kickstarter by signing up for it. It funded in 6 minutes, and again, they only needed $50,000. To blow your mind, they are currently setting at $1.426 million. They have done over, what is that, 3,000%? I don't know, it's some stupid number of what they actually needed, and honestly, it's been kind of crazy. So I think what we'll do, if you're not familiar with it, you can go over to Kickstarter.com, you can set yourself up an account, and you can still pledge to this. This Kickstarter is running until June 26th, so we've got a little less than a month now to decide if you want to support this and have your own personal copies of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the Marvel run. So just going through this, I think this took Skybound Entertainment completely by surprise, And I'm really hoping also that Hasbro's paying close attention. Clearly, G.I. Joe is still a hot commodity. You don't ask for $50,000 and expect to get $1.4 million in 3 or 4 days' time. You just simply don't. With that being said, if you're not familiar with Kickstarters, generally what they do is they say, hey, we need to make that initial goal, in this case $50,000, and then as the money goes higher and more people back the project, they add things like stretch goals. And I'm sure if you're not familiar with stretch goals, it's just extra incentives to get people to back more, and it's also incentives for people that go what they call all in, and that's what I did. And when you go all in, any stretch goal that is unlocked during the process, the all in folks get, because they backed early. And yeah, they have released tons of stretch goals right now. And the funny thing is, those stretch goals, a lot of people are kind of complaining about them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take it back a minute. What comes in this Kickstarter set? So if you were to go onto the Kickstarter right now and you said, hey, I think I can support this project. I would like to have my own copy of G.I. Joe Real American Hero, the complete series. What you would simply be able to do, and I'm scrolling through the page right now to make sure I get to everything that you could possibly get. So the minimum reward that you can pledge to is a $30 reward, and they call that MUT. And MUT is just, they've named all the rewards after G.I. Joe and Cobra characters. MUT is a $30 pledge that you would make, and on June 20, whatever I said it was, June 24th, 26th, whatever, they would deduct $30 from your account, and you would get a digital copy of Compendium number 1. Now, Compendium number 1 is issues 1 through 50. So, if you want the bare minimum, and you say, hey, I only care about the first 50 issues of G.I. Joe, a lot of people actually say that the first 50 issues are essentially the best 50 issues, and then the story's kind of, it jumped the shark somewhere after issue 50. But that's the minimum you can back. And you would get a PDF delivered to you electronically at the end of the Kickstarter that would be of all first 50 issues. That's Compendium 1. And then as you go through there, the next one is called Chuckles, and that's $120. And if you didn't already deduce it, the $120 is a digital PDF of Compendium 1 through 4. So you would get all issues of G.I. Joe Real American Hero. You would get G.I. Joe versus the Transformers, G.I. Joe Special Missions, G.I. Joe Special. You would get all those, everything that was produced by Marvel for G.I. Joe in the complete compendiums in PDF format. You also get 12,000 Skybound Insider Points. I'm not really sure what those are. I'm assuming it's something you can go into the Skybound store and buy something using these points. But you get 12,000 Skybound Insider Points as well. And then from there, it just keeps going up. So if you actually want a physical copy of the Compendium number 1, you can spend $75 and get either Compendium 1 for G.I. Joe's side, which has Snake Eyes on the cover. Hopefully I've got a picture of it up there. Or you can choose the Cobra side and you can get Destro, or it's called Destro, but it's actually got Cobra Commander on the front. Very, probably could have named those better. And so, yeah, and then with those, you also get the digital PDFs, and you also get some Skybound Insider Points. And then it just goes up from there. It ratchets up, and then essentially, if you want to do the complete box set, you say, I want all 4 physical compendiums, I want the PDFs, and then they start throwing things on like trading cards, and a nice collection that can all set, or your collection can set in a nice box style if you want to keep it nice and pristine. That goes up to $300. You can choose the G.I. Joe side or the Cobra side. And then it just goes up even further. And they do ones that have already sold out, such as the Snake Eyes set or the Cobra Commander set of the physical books, the trading cards, etc., etc. And those came with a Larry Hama nameplate that was signed. And those sold out immediately. I was fortunate enough to get one of the signed nameplates, and those sold out quickly. I can only imagine as this continues and progresses, they might make more available as an add-on. And yeah, let's just jump down a little further and tell you, if you wanted to go out and get the biggest bang for your buck today, what you could do. I'm scrolling through all these things because they have tons of different tiers. Full disclosure, I got what was called the Hiss Tank with Hama bookplate. I got that. It was $600 plus $100 shipping, and it was limited to 50. And what that includes, and I'll make sure to throw it up on the screen, what that included is a signed Larry Hama name bookplate of G.I. Joe issue number 1. It gives you Compendium 1 through 4 of both the G.I. Joe print and the Cobra print. So that's 8 books. I mean, they're duplicated, so don't get me wrong. There's nothing different between the G.I. Joes and the Cobra other than the covers. I got those. It also included all the G.I. Joe and Cobra trading cards, which are created by some of the most well-known artists for G.I. Joe, past, present. And includes 50,000 Skybound Insider points, which whoopee. And then every unlocked stretch goal. And we'll get into those right now. So I got that. That sold out immediately. That was limited to 50 backers. Then there was a Storm Shadow one that was essentially everything I just mentioned, but also comes with a special limited edition Storm Shadow print. So an 11.5 or whatever size Storm Shadow print. That was 750 plus shipping. And shipping's not cheap. It's $100 if you want everything. I mean, I learned this whenever I bought the G.I. Joe Omnibus from 3D Joe's. Those things are super heavy, so I can understand why shipping is so much. So that being said, let's go on to the stretch goals that are included in this, because there are quite a lot of them and a little bit of controversy around it. And I think that's more because people Skybound didn't expect to get this big of support on this project. Again, they only needed 50,000. They're at 1.4 million right now. So the initial funding, let's see. We started with the first stretch goal unlock was spot gloss added to all the box sets. So they just make them nice and glossy for you. So great. The next one was a double-sided bookmark that's added to all the physical pledges. So you just get a paper bookmark. You know, again, not the best stretch goal in the world, but hey, it's already unlocked, so good for us. And that bookmark is used from the G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero Marvel run of comics. One side you have Storm Shadow in his V2 outfit. On the other side you have Battle Armor Cobra Commander. Both from, I can't remember which issues they're from, but they're both cover art issues. The next one was a Joe die-cut sticker that was added to all the G.I. Joe compendiums. So it's just a nice little sticker, and then it's the G.I. Joe star, the blue star. And then for the Cobra side, they did a Cobra sticker. So those are unlocked. So if you get the physical copies of the Joe or Cobra, you get that sticker. Or if you wind up getting both, you get both stickers. Next tier, our next stretch goal that was unlocked was a Duke fold-out poster by Andy Kubert, who also does the Storm Shadow print. And that's added to every Compendium number 1. So if you get Compendium 1, you get this G.I. Joe poster as well, or this Duke poster as well. And of course, if you get the Cobra side, you get a Cobra Commander fold-out poster, also by Andy Kubert. And that comes with every Compendium number 2. The next one was a really cool one. They funded satin ribbon bookmarks for all the compendiums. So now if you buy a compendium, you will have a nice satin ribbon that you can put in to mark your place in your book. So that's very nice. You don't have to use that paper back or that paper Storm Shadow Cobra Commander bookmark if you don't want to. So I thought that was really nice. The next one they call Foil Fever. Foil added to all compendium covers, spines, and trading cards. So again, just making it more fancy. So another stretch goal unlocked. The next one that was funded, the next stretch goal that was funded and unlocked was a G.I. Joe 4-inch patch is included with all physical pledges of G.I. Joe. So if you get a physical copy of any of the compendiums, you get this 4-inch G.I. Joe patch. Or if you did the Cobra side, you get a Cobra patch. Or if you did a thing where you got both of them, of course you get both patches. And now they are setting at the 1.5 million tier. When they reach 1.5 million, again, they're at 1.425 million right now with 26 days to go or something like that. They are going to add gilded edges to all physical compendiums. So, I mean, if you don't know what that is, I didn't know what that meant at first, even when I was looking at the picture. But a gilded edge is just when you look at the side of a book and you see it's like got that nice gold, and every page is just that sliver of gold on the edge, but when it's all closed together, it's nice and gold. That is essentially a metallic paint they spray on. They are going to do that for all compendiums, and they're doing it in a bright red, which I think looks really nice, especially with the Joe side. Since the Joe books are blue, the red looks especially good on the with the blue binding. But there's also going to be red on the Cobra binding too, which is red. And that's where we sit right now. There is a lot of stuff, and they still have more tiers that they can possibly unlock. So with all this going on, I actually had the opportunity. The reason I'm doing this and why I spent as much money as I spent, and again, only spend what you can afford. Don't go into debt for doing something like this. I spent this money because I had actually had the opportunity to buy issues 1 through 155 in their entirety. And a person on Facebook in the one of the G.I. Joe communities was selling it for $1,250. And I was like, that's not a terribly bad price. That's essentially a little less than $10 an issue if math served me correctly. And I was like, so I reached out to this individual and I said, hey, that's a little out of my range, or I would feel more comfortable spending $1,000 to have the entire series. Not that $1,250 wasn't a great price, but I figured I'd take my shot. And the person, declined, said, hey, I really think $1,250 is really where I want to put it, because that included shipping, I believe. And I was like, you know what? I hope you sell it. I really do. That is a great price. It's just a little bit out of the budget I wanted to spend right now. And then, this was coming up, this Skybound Kickstarter. So for me, to get every G.I. Joe issue, not only in digital format, but in physical format, and also include the special missions, the G.I. Joe special, the G.I. Joe versus Transformers, to include all that for what I'm going to pay, $700, is a bargain to me. I'm going to have a really nice set of G.I. Joe books that cover the entire Marvel run, and especially since I'm doing these reviews anyway of the channel, it'll be nice to actually have physical copies to read through. But I also really appreciate having digital copies to read through. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I could have spent $1,250 or $1,000. Instead, I'm spending $700, and I'm going to get this in October, which is my birthday month. So at least I think that's what they initially have scheduled for it to be released. I assume, and I could be wrong, that the PDFs will be delivered electronically and be delivered earlier. I mean, doesn't have to go to a printer, doesn't have to do any of that sort of stuff. So we might actually get those early. But yeah, I thought this was a great project to back. I hope you think it's a great project to back because, hey, who knows how many more chances you can get to own the complete Marvel run of G.I. Joe. Man, I would love to see them do a Real American Hero, all the IDW series, but I don't know the legalities behind that since, I mean, it's Hasbro's property, so I suppose they could do it. There would be not really much IDW could do about it, I would assume, but it might be a little too late in the game to do it. Now, maybe they'll do another Kickstarter in the future. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about that. Would you support not only this Kickstarter, would you support a Kickstarter that covered a Real American Hero issues 155 and a half to 300? Because that would be, if you wanted the whole kit and caboodle, you got to get IDW in there somehow. Or heck, you could even go Devil's Due and see if you could get their, I mean, it's not officially canon anymore, but you could get their stuff as well. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I think this is a great project, and I guess let's just see how many backers they're setting. I'm going to do a refresh real quick live on, I know this isn't getting posted live, but I am going to do a repost. They are at 1.428 million, so it's even went up since I started recording this video. 3,949 backers as of the making of this video with 26 days to go. So they're going to hit that 1.5 million, no problem. And we're going to get those gilded edges for sure. And yeah, like I said, just to cover it again, this is G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, the run, Marvel run from issues 1 to issues 155. Special missions, G.I. Joe Special Number 1, G.I. Joe and the Transformers. You get it all. You just have to pledge the right amount of money. You can pledge as little as $30 all the way up to $750, and you're going to get a lot of stuff. Oh, the other thing I didn't include, it also includes G.I. Joe Order of Battle issues 1 through 4. And I guess it's G.I. Joe and the Transformers, not G.I. Joe versus the Transformers, so I apologize for that. But you get a minimum $30, get you in the gate for the first 50 issues, all the way up to $750 if you just want everything you can possibly get. All the Larry Hama nameplates are currently out. They've been sold out. They may add more. I did see on Larry's Facebook account that he said he might have to sign some more. So they might be adding more. The trading cards, I briefly touched on those earlier. The trading cards are amazing. If you back the project and you back it to the level that includes the trading cards, you get to vote on the final 3 Cobra and G.I. Joe trading cards. I put my votes in already on who I wanted to see on those. I guess I can go ahead and cover who is included currently in those trading cards. Let's see if I can find who's in those trading cards. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. But yeah, there's currently going to be 6 G.I. Joe trading cards, and there's currently 6 G.I. Joe trading cards and 6 Cobra trading cards, and there's going to be 3 more added to each one of those. So currently, for the G.I. Joe side, we have, where are they? There are, let's see, there's the Cobra ones. Okay, the G.I. Joe ones right now are currently Scarlet, Stalker, Duke, Hawk, CoverGirl, and Snake Eyes, plus 3 more that you get to vote on. And Cobra side, there's Destro, Serpentor, Cobra Commander, Major Blood, Zartan, and the Baroness, with 3 more you can vote on. I cast my votes in. For the G.I. Joe side, I voted Beachhead, Flint, and General Colton. And for Cobra, I voted, who did I vote for? Darklon, Cobra Bat, and I can't remember the other one I voted for. Yeah, that's strange that I don't remember. Well, it definitely was the Cobra Bat, Darklon. It wasn't Dr. Mime. Oh, Firefly. That's who I voted for. So yeah, if you vote, or if you decide to go with the any set that includes the cards, you get to vote on those as well. And they'll send you a message via Kickstarter with a link to vote. And the top 3 for each one will get created. And yeah, these are, again, done by very famous artists. We probably should give the artist credit that they deserve, because without the artists, we wouldn't have, we wouldn't have G.I. Joe. Of course, Larry Hama is one of those artists. Andy Kubert, we mentioned earlier. Ron Wagner's one of them. I'm trying to find the entire list. I thought they had them all listed, but goodness gracious, there's so many of these G.I. Joe trading cards. But yeah, you can check it out on the Kickstarter, www.kickstarter.com. Search for Skybound Entertainment. You'll see their Kickstarter. This is not their first time doing a Kickstarter. They have definitely done this before. And yeah, you get a lot of stuff just depending on what you want to support with what they have available. Actually, it looks like you cannot get the Storm Shadow limit, the $750 one. That was that is completely sold out. So the highest you can do right now is the Hiss Tank. That's the $600 one. This one does not include a nameplate, but you do get everything. So any stretch goals unlocked. $600 gets you everything right now. Otherwise, it goes down in tiers that I've mentioned earlier. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. Sorry I didn't have any new comics to cover, but I thought this was worth covering. And yeah, make sure you check out coffeebrandcoffee.com. Make sure you like this video. It really helps out the channel. Let me know if you're interested. Did you already support this project? Drop a comment down below telling me which tier you supported and what you're looking forward to the most out of all this. Honestly, I love the artwork. I am looking forward to having those trading cards and just actually having those complete compendiums setting up on my bookshelf. Lord knows where I'm going to put them, but I'll put them somewhere. And yeah, with that being said, I'm Mark, you've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.
Let's go.